Hello, everyone. I'm Jacob Robertson, and welcome to my podcast, Banking on Your Business. Today, we had an exciting guest in the studio, Mark Morton from Morton Consulting. Mark shared his insights and really equips you as a business owner with the key tools to know how to keep, retain, and attract new talent. All that and more, so let's dive in.
Transact Capital presents Banking on Your Business with Jacob Robertson.
Well, Mark, thank you for joining us today. We're excited to learn a little bit more about you and get some commentary around the staffing industry overall. But again, we want to start this conversation like we start all of our conversations. Let you introduce yourself and let you connect with the listeners. So take a few minutes, tell us who you are, and then we'll dive in.
Sure. Jacob, it's great to be here with you guys here at Transact Capital today, and really appreciate you having us out. And I absolutely love your new studio that you guys have here. You guys have done a kind of a world-class job on getting this up and going. So excited to be here. And so appreciate you having us. I'm Mark Morton. I'm the chairman and president of Morton Consulting. We're a Richmond-based IT staffing company, and we're headquartered right here in the heart of all of Richmond's excitement in Scotts Addition.
Awesome, great, yeah. So initially, just for, I think this will help paint the picture and tell the story. How did you get into the staffing industry?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I was had kind of grown up in a family business. My grandparents owned a Main Street hardware store business, and during college, I got kind of introduced to technology and spent the first part of my career working in the IT space, and transitioned out of that, got into some consulting that ultimately led me to getting into the IT staffing space.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's great. So, IT staffing, we talk about IT staffing. It's been on a roller coaster. I can only imagine. Give me just a quick synopsis from, February 2020 up till today. What's that roller coaster ride been like?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty interesting because I think when you look at unemployment right now, the unemployment rates that we're seeing today really kind of, in a lot of ways, reflect the pre-COVID unemployment rates. And so in March of 2020, the market was super hot. There was a really high demand for talent. And we're really, we've seen it decelerate just a little bit, but we're really at the same place we were, a few years ago. And I think that's why you're seeing some of the moves the Fed's making on interest rates and that sort of thing.
Right, definitely. Yeah. So talk a little bit. Would you consider this a job seekers market or an employer's market?
I think employers are a little more tentative right now. I think there's a little bit of uncertainty in the economy, and you're certainly seeing those trends. You're also, but we're putting a lot of people to work right now. I mean, even just this month for us is off to the races. So,
great.
So I think from a business perspective, the business is performing really well for us. And we're just seeing a lot of demand from our clients to get the right talent in the right seats for their success.
Great. And so looking forward, what's your view on the staffing, especially the IT staffing, going forward?
Well, I think what we saw in the kind of, if we flash back to the recession we had in 2009, people were tentative about hiring employees, and so we had a lot of we had a lot of unemployment, high unemployment, a lot of candidates in the market, and for a limited number of positions. And I think what we're seeing is when there's uncertain economic times, that our customers are depending on contract staffing a little more than the permanent staffing.
Okay, yeah. So that's a great lead into the next part of this conversation is wages. From the job seeker's point of view and from the business owner's point of view, we saw wages rising. Kind of in the pandemic phase. So talk to me a little bit, give me some insights on where you see wages currently and where you see them going overall.
I mean, I think the wages right now are very competitive still. So, I don't really see candidates having to take materially less for the same positions if they're making a switch. But having said that, I mean, what we did see from mid 2020 to current was we saw a lot of people really making a lot more money that they had than they had previously, and that's cooled off.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, so you talk about, I think they called it the Great Resignation back then, where it was very lucrative for people to switch jobs. Do you still see challenges that businesses have to retain talent?
I think there's been so much uncertainty. We've seen a lot of labor, especially in the tech space. I think it's all over the news. A lot of the big brands have overhired, and so there's been a lot of labor that's been assimilated, back into the market. And so, I think what you're seeing is like people are starting to kind of rethink what's in priority for them in terms of employment and their employer, and trying to find the right place that they can be, with some stability.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. So, with our audience in mind, these senior leaders, senior executive business owners, what would you say, building on that, what are the key things that they can focus on as they're, one, looking to retain talent, and then two, looking to, hire new talent?
Yeah, I think we're seeing this, especially like with some of our customers right now, their buying patterns have completely changed. I think, will we or won't we have a recession? I'm not an economist, so I really can't answer that for you. But what I do know is a lot of those companies are proceeding with caution. And so I think giving your employees confidence that you're going to be around. I mean, we just saw, this past week where Yellow Trucking has gone out of business.
Right,
And,
right.
there's a flood of those. So we've actually been helping some of those people reach jobs that are actually here in Richmond, in the Richmond area. But I think, making good business decisions around when to hire and what the business can support to me, would be a primary focus.
Great. Awesome. And then obviously, you think about the work from home, how is that transition going from your point of view?
I think there's competing perceptions about work from home, and but it's here to stay. And so I think the key word, the key for me is communication and flexibility. And so when you think about work from home, I think prior to COVID, I think it had one connotation, and then the way people maybe thought about work from home and being flexible. But today, I think it's created a lot of opportunities for companies. And we have a very diverse workforce. They are located remotely in the U.S. as well as in other countries. And so I think being flexible and communicating with your employees and trying to really maintain that company culture, even though you're not all in one location, is just really vital.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. And so, shifting gears a little bit, everyone, at least that I talk to, you think of IT, the current buzzword is AI. AI is, driving the conversation. So I'm kind of curious to see from your point of view, one, what is that opening up as far as opportunities in IT staffing? And then what do you think could be, doors closing because of that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think a lot of people are trying to figure that out. I think a lot of companies are using AI to automate routine tasks. As we spoke about prior to this session today, maybe using it as a primer to, create job descriptions or create blog posts or plan travel or whatever. There's a bevy of things going on there, but I am hearing that companies are using AI to automate these kind of routine, low-level tasks, and I think it just creates more high-level opportunities for employees that are out there in the market.
Great. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's pretty much, it for today. So, I truly appreciate these insights. I think it was a great conversation, a lot of great nuggets. Before we leave, any final words or, how can our listeners reach out to you?
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me today. We're at themortonway.com. You can find us online. We're on all the social media buzzes, so you can find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can find Morton Consulting. So come see us. We've got a lot of jobs. We've got a lot of things going on, and we've got a lot of demand from our customers. So love to talk to you if you're in the market.
Again, a special thank you to Mark, and thank you to the listeners for your support. Tune in next time as we continue the conversation with a new guest.
Transact Capital presents Banking on Your Business with Jacob Robertson.